Most people wake up every morning and follow the same routine, doing what everyone else does, complaining, making excuses, waiting for the right time. But look around. Has that ever led to greatness? No. If you want to rise above the ordinary, you must do what the 99% are not doing. It feels good in the moment, but over time it weakens you. The human mind is designed for survival, not success, which is why it constantly seeks the path of least resistance. It craves ease, security, and predictability. But if you observe the lives of the greatest minds, the most successful people, the true game changers of the world, you will see one thing in common. They refused to stay comfortable. They stepped into discomfort willingly, knowing that growth never happens in comfort. Look at nature. A tree doesn't grow strong in perfect conditions. It strengthens when it faces storms, strong winds, and harsh seasons. Your body doesn't get stronger by staying still. It grows when you push it beyond its limits. The same applies to your mind, your ambitions, and your entire life. Growth happens at the edges of discomfort. But what do most people do? They run from it. They avoid it. They look for shortcuts, easy ways out, and quick fixes. And then they wonder why their life never changes. People wake up and immediately seek comfort, hitting the snooze button, staying in their warm bed instead of facing the day with energy. They choose the easy job, the familiar routine, the habits that make them feel safe but never challenge them. They avoid difficult conversations, hard decisions, and the unknown. They settle for just enough, never pushing beyond what feels easy, and then they wonder why they feel stuck. Discomfort is the price of transformation. If you want to become someone who stands out, someone who achieves something great, you have to embrace discomfort like a warrior stepping into battle. You have to train yourself to seek challenges instead of running from them. You have to push yourself into situations that force you to grow. You have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Look at the athletes who rise to greatness. They don't train when they feel like it. They train when they are exhausted, when their muscles ache, when their minds scream at them to stop. That is where strength is built. Look at entrepreneurs who create empires. They don't play it safe. They take risks. They face failures. They step into uncertainty every single day. That is where success is forged. The difference between those who succeed and those who remain average is not intelligence, luck, or background. It is the willingness to do what is hard, to wake up early when everyone else is sleeping, to keep going when others quit, to choose discipline over indulgence, to walk the path of discomfort while the world takes the easy road. Most people say they want success, but their actions betray them. They want the rewards without the sacrifice. They want to be fit, but won't embrace the discomfort of training. They want financial freedom, but won't embrace the discomfort of learning new skills, making tough choices, and taking risks. They want confidence, but won't embrace the discomfort of stepping into the unknown, facing failure, and growing from it. Everything you desire is on the other side of discomfort. Every skill, every achievement, every dream, it all demands that you step beyond what is easy. The sooner you stop seeking comfort and start seeking growth, the sooner your life will begin to change. Taking full responsibility for your life is the single most powerful decision you can ever make. It is the line that separates those who control their destiny from those who are controlled by circumstances. Most people spend their lives pointing fingers, blaming their parents for not giving them a better start, blaming society for being unfair, blaming the government, the economy, their boss, their childhood, their genetics, or even fate. They have a long list of reasons why they are stuck, why they haven't achieved what they want, why they are not happy, not successful, not fulfilled. But the harsh truth is this: no one is coming to save you. No one is responsible for your life except you. When you blame others, you give away your power. You hand control of your life to external forces. You become a puppet of circumstances, always at the mercy of what happens to you. But when you take full responsibility, you take that power back. You stop waiting for things to change, and you become the one who changes them. You stop making excuses, and you start making things happen. You stop saying, I can't because, and start asking, how can I? That shift in mindset is what separates those who rise from those who remain stuck. People who refuse to take responsibility become prisoners of their own lives. They wait for the right time, the right opportunity, the perfect situation. They say things like, if only I had rich parents. If only I had more support. If only the economy was better. If only I had the right connection. But the truth is, there will never be a perfect time. There will never be a situation where everything is lined up perfectly for you. The people who succeed are the ones who stop waiting and start creating their own opportunities. Your circumstances are not an excuse. They are your starting point. There are people who were born into worse situations than you, who had less money, fewer resources, no support, and yet they still made it. And not because they were lucky, not because someone handed them success, but because they refused to let their circumstances define them. They took control. They decided that no matter what life threw at them, they would find a way forward. When you take full responsibility, you stop complaining, you stop blaming, you stop making yourself a victim. Instead, you ask, what can I do right now to improve my situation? And you realize that your failures are your own, your successes are your own. Every action, every decision, every choice you make is shaping your future. If you don't like where you are, you have the power to change it. But that change will never come if you keep blaming things outside of yourself. Taking responsibility also means accepting that your past does not determine your future. Maybe you were dealt a bad hand, but maybe you had a rough childhood, faced obstacles, or suffered setbacks, but none of that controls your future unless you let it. You can either use your past as an excuse or as fuel to push you forward. Those who succeed don't dwell on what happened to them. They focus on what they can do now. This mindset shift is what separates winners from losers. The moment you take full responsibility, you become unstoppable. You realize that no matter what happens, you have the power to respond in a way that moves you forward. You stop looking for external validation, stop waiting for someone to fix your life, and instead, you step up and take charge. Everything changes when you stop seeing yourself as a victim of life and start seeing yourself as the creator of your own destiny. Most people live their entire lives trapped within the limits of their own thinking. They have been conditioned to believe in boundaries that don't exist, to settle for what is realistic, and to never question the limits placed on them by society, by their upbringing, by their own fears. The majority of people do not think beyond what they have been told is possible. They believe success is for a select few, that greatness is reserved for those with privilege, connections, or luck. And so they never even attempt to go beyond what they assume is possible. They shrink their dreams, lower their ambitions, and stay within the small, comfortable box that society has drawn around them. The greatest tragedy in life is not a lack of talent or opportunity, it is a lack of vision. When you limit your thinking, you limit your life. Your mind is the foundation of everything you will ever create, achieve, and experience. If you allow it to be filled with doubt, fear, and mediocrity, that is exactly what your life will reflect. But if you expand your mind, if you dare to dream bigger, think differently, and challenge the limitations imposed upon you, your entire reality begins to shift. Look at the people who have changed the world. They did not follow the thinking of the masses. They were not concerned with what was normal. or accept. They saw possibilities where others saw obstacles. They imagined things that did not yet exist. They refused to accept the limits that others lived by. Every great invention, every breakthrough, every revolution in thought and technology was created by someone who rejected the small thinking of the majority and dared to see beyond it. But what do most people do? They settle. They accept what they are given. They listen to the voices of mediocrity, the teachers who tell them to be realistic, the friends who tell them not to dream too big, the family members who say, just be happy with what you have. And so they stay in the same job they hate, in the same town they don't love, living the same repetitive cycle day after day, never questioning if there is more. They convince themselves that this is just how life is. Your thoughts are the architects of your reality. If you tell yourself that you are limited, that you are not smart enough, not talented enough, not lucky enough, that success is out of reach for people like you, then you have already lost before you've even tried. But if you train your mind to see possibilities instead of limitations, to look for solutions instead of excuses, to believe in your ability to create a life beyond what you've known, everything changes. Thinking big is not just about ambition. It is about seeing beyond the illusions that hold most people back. It is about recognizing that the only real limits are the ones you accept. It is about understanding that every great success story began with someone who refused to think like the 99%, who refused to believe in the barriers that everyone else accepted as truth. The moment you allow yourself to think beyond what seems possible, you open doors that most people will never even see. You stop playing small, stop waiting for permission, and start designing a future that others can't even imagine. And that is how you break free from mediocrity, by daring to think beyond it. Discipline is the foundation of every great achievement, the bridge between desire and reality, the force that separates those who dream from those who actually make things happen. Everyone wants success, but very few are willing to do what it takes. The majority of people rely on motivation, waiting to feel like taking action, but motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes like the wind. If you only act when you feel motivated, you will never accomplish anything meaningful. True success belongs to those who have discipline, the ability to do what needs to be done, even when they don't feel like it. The world is filled with people who start but never finish. They begin new projects with enthusiasm, set big goals, and talk about their dreams, but the moment things get difficult, they quit. Why? Because they lack discipline. They want the reward but not the process. They want the success but not the sacrifice. They want the result without enduring the struggle. And so they fall into the same cycle, starting, quitting, regretting, and then repeating. And so discipline means showing up every single day, no matter how you feel. It means doing the work when you're tired, when you're uninspired, when no one is watching, when no one is applauding. It means pushing through when your body aches, when your mind is screaming at you to stop, when every fiber of your being wants to give up. It is in those moments that discipline is tested. It is in those moments that true winners are made. Most people think discipline is restrictive, that it takes away freedom. But the truth is, discipline is the highest form of freedom. Without it, you are a slave to your emotions, to your impulses, to distractions, to laziness. Without discipline, you live life reacting to whatever happens, constantly pulled in different directions by your desires and urges. But when you have discipline, you take control. You decide how your life unfolds. You don't wait for the right mood or the perfect time. You create the conditions for success through daily habits and relentless consistency. Look at the greatest athletes, the most successful entrepreneurs, the masters of any craft. They do not rely on motivation. They do not train only when they feel like it. They have routines, habits, and systems that ensure progress regardless of their emotions. They wake up early when others sleep. They work when others are distracted. They push through the pain while others look for comfort. They understand that greatness is not built in one day of inspiration, but in thousands of days of disciplined action. Most people waste years waiting for motivation, chasing quick bursts of energy that fade just as quickly as they come. They want results, but they refuse to commit to the process. They look for shortcuts, easy solutions, and magic formulas. But the truth is, there is no shortcut. The only path to success is discipline. The willingness to show up and do the hard work every single day, no matter what. Discipline is a choice. Every day, you either strengthen it or weaken it. Every time you choose to stick to your commitments, you become stronger. Every time you give in to excuses, you become weaker. It is in the small decisions. The decision to wake up early instead of hitting snooze. The decision to read a book instead of scrolling mindlessly. The decision to exercise instead of sitting on the couch. These small choices build the foundation of a disciplined mind. And a disciplined mind creates an unstoppable individual. Those who succeed in life are not the most talented, the luckiest, or the smartest. They are the ones who master discipline. They are the ones who train themselves to do what needs to be done, no matter how they feel. They are the ones who refuse to negotiate with their excuses. They are the ones who wake up every single day and execute even when no one is watching. You become what you surround yourself with. The people you spend the most time with shape your thoughts, influence your habits, and ultimately determine the trajectory of your life. If you surround yourself with complainers, you will become a complainer. If you surround yourself with people who settle for mediocrity, you will unconsciously adopt their mindset. But if you surround yourself with winners, people who are disciplined, driven, and constantly striving for more, you will naturally rise to their level. Most people do not realize how much their environment controls them. They assume that their thoughts and behaviors are entirely their own. But the truth is, they are constantly absorbing the energy, beliefs, and habits of those around them. If you spend time with negative people, you will become negative. If you spend time with people who waste time, you will start wasting yours. If you spend time with people who lack ambition, you will begin to lower your own expectations. This is why the 99% stay stuck in the same cycles, because they are surrounded by others who reinforce their limitations. Look at the most successful people in the world. They are not spending time with those who bring them down. They are not engaging in meaningless gossip, complaining about their problems, or entertaining negativity. They are surrounded by those who challenge them, who push them to be better, who demand excellence from them. Winners associate with winners because they understand that their environment is either working for them or against them. They choose relationships that elevate them rather than ones that hold them back. The people you surround yourself with influence your mindset more than you realize. If you are constantly around those who believe success is impossible, you will start believing it too. If you are surrounded by those who think small, you will find yourself shrinking your own dreams. But if you are around those who set big goals, take bold action, and refuse to make excuses, you will start adopting the same mentality. You will start seeing opportunities instead of obstacles. You will start believing that more is possible. Most people fear outgrowing their social circle because they do not want to be seen as different. They do not want to leave behind friends who have been a part of their life for years. But the reality is, if your friends are not growing, if they are not evolving, if they are not pushing themselves, then staying around them will only slow you down. Growth requires sacrifice, and sometimes that sacrifice includes relationships that no longer serve your future. This does not mean you should look down on others or treat them with disrespect. It simply means that you must be intentional about who you allow into your inner circle. Energy is contagious, and if you are constantly surrounded by those who drain your energy, you will never have enough to build the life you truly want. If you want to be extraordinary, you cannot afford to be around people who are satisfied with being average. The easiest way to change your life is to change your environment. If you want to be fit, spend time with people who prioritize health. If you want to be successful, spend time with those who are ambitious and disciplined. If you want to develop a powerful mindset, immerse yourself in conversations with those who think on a higher level. Your future is not just determined by your effort. It is shaped by the people you choose to surround yourself with every single day. Most people spend their lives waiting. They wait for the perfect time, the right opportunity, the ideal circumstances. They tell themselves, I'll start when I have more money. I'll take action when I feel ready. I'll go after my dreams when the timing is better. But what they don't realize is that waiting is a trap. The perfect moment will never come. The stars will never align in the way they are hoping for. Life will always be uncertain, unpredictable, and full of obstacles. Those who succeed are not the ones who wait. They are the ones who take action despite uncertainty, despite fear, despite not having everything figured out. Action is the key to everything. Without action, dreams remain dreams. Plans remain ideas. Potential remains untapped. It does not matter how much you read, how much you learn, how much you think about what you want to do. If you do not take action, nothing will change. Yet most people spend their time overthinking, analyzing, doubting themselves, and coming up with excuses. They fear failure, so they never even try. They fear discomfort, so they stay in their comfort zones. And then they wonder why their life looks the same year after year. Taking action is not about waiting until you feel confident. Confidence does not come first. Action comes first. When you take action, you gain experience. When you gain experience, you build skills. When you build skills, you develop confidence. Most people have it backward. They think they need to feel ready before they start, but no one ever truly feels ready. Every successful person you admire started before they were ready. They stepped into the unknown. They took imperfect action. They made mistakes, learned, adapted, and kept moving forward. Fear of failure is one of the biggest reasons people don't take action. They are terrified of making mistakes, of looking foolish, of not getting it right the first time. But failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. Every person who has achieved greatness has failed more times than they can count. The difference is they did not let failure stop them. They used it as fuel. They learned from it. They adjusted their approach and kept going. But the people who never take action never even give themselves the chance to fail, which means they also never give themselves the chance to succeed. Overthinking is another killer of action. People waste months, years, even decades analyzing every possible outcome, planning every little detail, making sure everything is perfect before they start. But in the end, all they have is a plan, not progress. You do not need to know every step before you begin. You only need to take the first step. Action creates momentum, and momentum leads to progress. The more you act, the clearer the path becomes. The more you do, the more you learn. But if you stay stuck in analysis paralysis, nothing will ever happen. The truth is, most people already know what they need to do. They know they need to work harder, wake up earlier, develop discipline, step out of their comfort zone, take risks. They do not need more information. They need to act on what they already know. But instead, they seek more knowledge as a way to delay action. They tell themselves they need to read more books, watch more videos, gather more advice before they begin. But knowledge without action is useless. The only way to create change is to take what you know and put it into practice. Taking action also separates you from the 99% who only talk about what they want but never do anything about it. Everyone says they want success, but few are willing to take consistent action to make it happen. They talk about their dreams, their goals, their plans, but year after year, nothing changes because they never take the necessary steps. If you want to be different, if you want to stand out, you must be the person who moves while others are still thinking. You must be the person who takes risks while others are playing it safe. You must be the person who does while others are still talking about what they are going to do. At the end of the day, action is the great separator. The world does not reward those who think about doing great things. It rewards those who go out and make things happen. You will never feel ready. You will never have all the answers. But if you start now, if you take one step forward today, you will be ahead of 99% of people who are still waiting. Most people live their lives avoiding discomfort at all costs. They seek the easiest path, the path of least resistance, the path that requires the least amount of struggle, effort, or pain. They want success, but they do not want to endure the challenges that come with it. They want greatness, but they are unwilling to suffer for it. They avoid difficult conversations, avoid difficult decisions, avoid difficult tasks. They choose comfort over growth, and in doing so, they trap themselves in mediocrity. Growth is never found in comfort. Everything you desire, the success, the financial freedom, the discipline, the confidence, the strength, lies on the other side of discomfort. The people who achieve greatness are not the ones who had an easy path. They are the ones who willingly put themselves in situations that forced them to grow. They are the ones who stepped into uncertainty, who embraced the struggle, who did not shy away from hardship. They understood that true strength is built through adversity, not through ease. Look at nature. Every powerful force is forged through intense pressure. Diamonds are formed under extreme heat and pressure. Muscles grow only when they are torn and rebuilt. The strongest trees are those that have endured the harshest winds. Yet most people live as if they should be exempt from struggle, as if they should be able to achieve greatness without pain, without sacrifice. But the truth is, nothing extraordinary is achieved in comfort. The comfort zone is where dreams go to die. The problem is, people associate discomfort with something negative. They see struggle as a sign that they are failing, that something is wrong. They do not realize that struggle is proof that they are growing. When you push past discomfort, you expand your limits. When you do what is difficult, you become stronger. When you force yourself to endure hardship, you build resilience. Every time you step into discomfort, you become more capable, more disciplined, more unstoppable. Most people let fear of discomfort control their lives. They avoid rejection, so they never put themselves out there. They avoid failure, so they never take risks. They avoid hard work, so they never improve. But what they do not see is that in avoiding discomfort, they are also avoiding their potential. They are staying small, they are staying weak, they are staying stuck in a cycle of regret and unrealized potential. The greatest athletes push through pain when their body is screaming at them to stop. The greatest entrepreneurs take risks when everything is uncertain. The greatest minds endure failure after failure until they succeed. They do not avoid discomfort, they chase it. They understand that discomfort is the price of success. They know that every moment of pain, every struggle, every setback is shaping them into the person they need to become. If you want to rise above the 99%, You must train yourself to embrace discomfort. Wake up earlier than you want to. Do the work even when you don't feel like it. Have the difficult conversations instead of avoiding them. Push yourself harder than you think you can go. Step into the unknown when fear tells you to stay where you are. The more you seek discomfort, the stronger you become. The stronger you become, the less anything can shake you. Discomfort is not your enemy, it is your greatest ally. It is the force that separates those who live average lives from those who leave a legacy. It is the test that determines who is serious and who is just talking. It is the fire that forges the strongest minds, the toughest spirits, the most unbreakable individuals. If you want to transform your life, stop avoiding discomfort. Run toward it. Because on the other side of discomfort lies everything you have ever wanted. Most people are controlled by their emotions. They wake up in the morning and decide what kind of day it will be based on how they feel. If they feel motivated, they take action. If they feel tired, they make excuses. If they feel discouraged, they give up. Their entire life is dictated by emotions that change from moment to moment, day to day. This is why they remain stuck. This is why they never reach their full potential, because they have not learned the most important skill of all, the ability to master their emotions instead of being a slave to them. Your emotions are like the weather, unpredictable, ever-changing, sometimes stormy, sometimes calm. If you allow your life to be dictated by how you feel in the moment, you will never be consistent, and without consistency, success is impossible. The people who rise above the rest are not the ones who feel motivated every day. They are the ones who have trained themselves to take action regardless of how they feel. They do not allow their emotions to control their decisions. They do not let temporary feelings dictate long-term outcomes. Most people do not realize that emotions are unreliable. Feelings come and go. One day you feel like you can conquer the world. The next you feel like you are drowning. One moment you are excited, the next you are doubtful. If you make decisions based on these fleeting emotions, you will live in a constant state of inconsistency. You will start things and never finish them. You will have big dreams but never take action. You will let fear, doubt, and laziness pull you away from what you truly want. But the people who succeed, the ones who separate themselves from the 99%, are those who have learned to override their emotions. They do not negotiate with their feelings. They do not let a bad mood stop them from showing up. They do not let doubt keep them from taking the next step. They do what needs to be done no matter what. They understand that discipline is stronger than emotion, that commitment is more important than temporary feelings. Think about the greatest athletes, the most successful entrepreneurs, the highest achievers in any field. Do you think they wake up every day feeling energized and excited? Do you think they always feel like putting in the work? No. They are human just like you. They have days when they feel tired, when they feel discouraged, when they feel like quitting. But the difference is they do not let those emotions dictate their actions. They push through, they show up anyway. They have trained themselves to act despite how they feel. Most people allow negative emotions to paralyze them. When they feel fear, they hesitate. When they feel overwhelmed, they procrastinate. When they feel self-doubt, they shrink back. But emotions are not facts. Just because you feel afraid does not mean you are incapable. Just because you feel tired does not mean you cannot keep going. Just because you feel uncertain does not mean you should stop. Emotions are temporary, but the consequences of allowing them to control you are permanent. If you want to master your life, you must master your emotions. You must train yourself to take action whether you feel like it or not. You must build habits that ensure progress even on the days when you are unmotivated. You must learn to recognize when emotions are trying to trick you into quitting, into making excuses, into staying comfortable. And when that happens, you must push forward anyway. The most powerful people in the world are not the ones who never feel fear, doubt, or exhaustion. They are the ones who feel all those things and take action anyway. They are the ones who have conditioned themselves to prioritize their goals over their emotions. They understand that if they only acted when they felt good, they would never get anywhere. They refuse to let temporary feelings dictate their destiny. Every day you have a choice to let emotions control you or to control your emotions, to act only when you feel like it or to take action regardless, to stay stuck in the cycle of inconsistency or to break free and become unstoppable. The choice is yours. At the end of the day, the difference between the 99% and the 1% is not luck, not talent, not intelligence. It is action, discipline, and an unwillingness to settle for mediocrity. The majority will continue to live on autopilot, making the same choices, following the same patterns, and wondering why their lives never change. But a few, those who refuse to accept an average existence, will break free. They will do what others are unwilling to do. They will push past their fears, break through their limitations, and take control of their destiny. You have a choice. You can continue doing what the majority do, waiting, doubting, making excuses, avoiding discomfort, and allowing emotions to control your life. Or you can rise above. You can decide right now that you will no longer be held back by the habits, fears, and limitations that keep most people stuck. You can choose to take action when others hesitate. You can choose to seek discomfort when others run from it. You can choose to surround yourself with winners instead of settling for the company of those who hold you back. The path to greatness is not easy, but it is simple. It requires discipline, consistency, and a relentless commitment to growth. It requires you to act even when you don't feel like it, to push forward when your mind tells you to stop, and to embrace the struggle instead of avoiding it. It requires you to separate yourself from the mindset of the 99% and align yourself with the habits of the 1%. Most people will never do this. Most people will continue to live the same year over and over again, waiting for something to change. But you are not most people. You have everything you need to step into the life you were meant to live. The only question is, will you take that step? Will you do what the 99% are not doing? Because in the end, your life is not determined by what you say you want. It is determined by what you do, day in and day out. The choice is yours. Make it count.